Alright, it is Monday and we are set up to have a pretty busy week. So today I went to our emergency loss, which is no longer an emergency loss. It's actually pretty much set up for PRV. I did cut some of the extra drywall like I said I would in last week's video, which I'll post pictures here. I actually ran out of time in last week's video to talk about this other job, but I'm basically not doing the demolition. I'm just assisting in just providing my expertise and making sure that the job can pass PRV. But there basically was a small leak in the AC over a long period of time, caused water damage, which also led to some growth. There's a lot of moving parts to this one. So my role is just to make sure that the job is clean at all times, and I will be cleaning the studs and disinfecting, stain removing, HEPA vacuuming, the whole 9 yards, to make sure that that happens. That being said, I'm excited to see what this week brings. I just got another call regarding a ceiling leak, so I'm gonna maybe pop over there at some point today, depending on when I hear back from the customer. But we're lined up to have a pretty busy week, and hopefully we can get a ton of content out of it. So that being said, keep watching.
In the city of Tampa, where the sunsets are bright, lives a hero team fighting water with all their might. They come from the skies, they come from the sea. They are the ones you call to keep your home dry and free. Dry out, Daddy, oh, dry out, Daddy. Water the woes, we got your back, don't be sad, Daddy. Come on, let's fight. From the riverside to the heart of the town, they rush in quick, never letting you down. They tackle the floods with a dance and a cheer. Water beware, they're drawing near. Dry out, Daddy, oh, dry out, Daddy. Moldy walls will conquer your fear. Cheer. With every drop that falls from above, we're the guardians sent by love. We've got the power, the speed, the might to turn your soggy home into pure light. Their hearts are pure, their spirits strong. They sing and dance to the beat of the dry song. They're the heroes that you never knew. Dry out, Daddy, here to rescue you. Dry out, Daddy, oh, dry out, Daddy. We're the ones who'll keep your home from being shady, Daddy. Daddy, no job too big, no task too small. Dry out, Daddy will save it all. When the storm has passed, when the waters recede, you'll find your peace with dry out Daddy's deed. So don't despair, lift your head high. Well, dry out, Daddy will never say bye. Dry out, Daddy, oh, dry out, Daddy. Water or mold will never say goodbye, Daddy. Fast and friendly, Tampa's best. Call dry out, Daddy, we're your best.
last week I cleaned a roach-infested car. The car was bombed 3 times prior to me cleaning. So as you can imagine, there were a ton of roaches that needed to get cleaned. However, despite the bombs and the cleaning, there were still some roaches still alive. So today, I brought the big guns. This is stuff that is extremely powerful, and you really can only get it if you have a license for pest control, or otherwise if you know a guy, and I happen to know a guy. So he hooked it up. We're gonna bomb this car, and we're gonna see what it looks like in the next 24 to 48 hours. But in the meantime, dig in, roaches, because this stuff is good. This one's gonna give me a run for my money. I'm bringing out the full face respirator for this one. Full tie back, gloves, everything, the whole 9 yards. We're not risking a thing. This one is gnarly. This is probably the dirtiest car I've ever cleaned. So the car came out really, really good, in my opinion, given where it started from, right? So there was clutter all over this car. There was needles everywhere. I filled up at least, I would say in total, a gallon box of needles, just from like one vehicle, which is crazy to me. That is by far the most needles I've ever seen in a singular situation. It was pretty evident to me that whoever was living in this car was, a user of some sort of narcotic, maybe multiple narcotics. The situations like that, they're always like a reminder of how, like, in our society, we've become more and more open to this idea of just kind of like accepting of drugs. You hear stories about other states and whatnot. They actually like have like needle areas and places to dispose of your needles, and they give out clean needles, and they're very just like drug open and drug happy. And it's like when you have to clean up a mess of that, it's an interesting perspective, because it's like, it's not one that everybody thinks about. We just kind of assume like, oh yeah, they're druggies and let them go do druggy stuff, but not really realizing that there's a trail that they kind of leave behind, and people like me have to come and clean it up. When you're dealing with needles, there's a lot of hazards you have to watch out for. Could cross-contaminate, or they're sharp. Not only could they have residue of the drug that was used on the needle, but they could also have somebody's blood-borne pathogen on there as well. So there are a number of hazards that come along with cleaning up needles and disposing of them properly and whatnot. It's not just so like, oh, just throw them in the garbage. People do it. You really shouldn't do it. So you can never be too careful when you're dealing with needles and whatnot. Situations like these, I feel like need to be kind of more talked about, because nobody wakes up one day and decides, oh, hey, I'm going to, shoot up in my car and live out of the car and take dumps in the back seat of my car, right? Like, nobody wakes up one day and decides to do that. Drugs are a dangerous, slippery slope, because, initially it could seem like you can manage it all, and by the end of it, you're in a situation like this person was who owned this car, right? Living out of the car, shooting up in the car, taking dumps in the back seat of the car. When you do drugs and you're in that kind of situation, you do indirectly affect more people than you even think, right? Now, the positive side of that is some of the people that they're affecting make money, right? So, like, I had to clean this car, right? Nobody wanted to do it. So I guess it's not a total loss, right? It's not a totally shitty situation. And the reality is people are going to do drugs with this information or not. So, but if you're on the fence about it, watch this video, because you won't want to do drugs after this video. That being said, this was a fun day. This was an awesome job. I'm super glad with how it came out, and I'm ready for the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.
They are the ones you call to keep your home dry and free.